We are going to take the next little bit to talk about safe transfers and mobility equipment. This lesson will cover how to help an older adult with mobility aids such as gait belts, walkers, and rollators. So first up, we're going to talk a little bit about gait belts. Let's watch this video and learn how to assist an older adult using a gait belt.
Some older adults need support from mobility equipment or assistive equipment to move around safely. This equipment helps protect both you and your client from discomfort or injury. So, as a caregiver, you should learn how to choose and use the equipment properly to protect your clients and yourself. Caregivers that know how to safely use medical equipment with clients can let clients perform more of their own care. And clients trust caregivers more when they tell them about and know how to safely use helpful medical equipment. It's a win-win. You should feel free to ask your supervisor and/or the family member decision maker how to best move your client. The assistive devices that a client should use will be written in their care plan. The client may have been assessed in the past by a physical therapist who would have helped decide what type of equipment is best. Now, let's start with a common piece of mobility equipment, the gait belt. Lifting an older adult by their arms or shoulders can cause injury. A gait belt reduces the amount of lifting needed because you're lifting right where it is easiest, at the center of gravity, rather than by the extremities, giving you a safer alternative for moving a client. Both you and your client will be more confident in making a safe and comfortable move.
Let's start by getting that belt around your waist. Okay, it'll go on over your clothes to protect your skin.
Okay.
Now, how does that feel?
It's awfully tight.
Well, it's got to be snug. If it's too loose, it'll slide up when we lift. Are you ready to give it a try?
All right.
Now, the best place for us to lift is from the back. That'll help us most with balance to help guide you through the move. Are you ready to give it a try?
Sure.
Now, which is your good side?
I'm a little stronger on my left.
Okay. Karen will stand on your right then. We want to be on your weaker side to help you.
Your client will probably need more support on their weaker side, and that's also the direction they're more likely to fall. So stand on the side of your client that is weaker or injured to ensure stability and reduce the likelihood of an accident. Holding with your palm up gives you an extra holding and lifting power if you suddenly need to support the client's full weight.
Next up, let's watch a video to learn how to help an older adult with mobility aids like walkers and rollators.
Many older adults need to use some kind of walking support that they can control. Medical equipment like walkers, rollators, or canes can improve balance and reduce pain and discomfort. It's important to adjust height properly to make sure your client is safe and secure. Again, use whatever is specified in the care plan. Do not begin any new mobilizing equipment without speaking with your supervisor and the decision-making family member first.
We want to test drive a few mobility devices with you. We want to find the best thing for you.
Okay.
With a walker, your client should be able to reach the handles with their arms almost straight to support themselves with their arm strength. If the walker is adjusted above hip height, it can hurt your client's shoulders, and if they feel pain, they may hold their walker further away, which compromises their balance.
Well, now that we've got the height right, let's practice getting up and down a few times. When you want to get out of a bed or a chair, don't lean on the walker or pull it towards you because it might slip out from under you and you'll fall. To get out of your chair, put your hands on the armrests and push off until you're standing. Then you can safely grab the handles of the walker. You want to give it a try?
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, much better.
Hold up. I need you to stay with your walker until you're all the way back to your seat, okay?
Oh, well, here it is.
Those last few steps between the toilet and the bed are when falls happen. Same thing with leaning on furniture. I want you to get into the habit of using your walker the whole time, all right?
Okay, if you insist.
Now, reach back and grab the chair. Perfect. That makes me feel a lot better.
I'm glad of that.
Rollators are like walkers, but they have 4 wheels and a seat. Just like a walker, the handles should be at hip height. Older adults love how easy it is to push and change direction in a rollator. It's also nice to have a handy seat when they're fatigued or waiting in line.
Now, this is very important. Always make sure you lock the brakes before you sit or stand, or it'll roll out from under you. I don't want you taking a fall.
Like this?
Perfect. Thanks.
How's that?
So let's take a moment to review using a gait belt. Step 1, put the belt on the client. Put the belt around the client's waist, over their clothing, and with the belt's buckle in front. Thread the belt through the teeth of the buckle. Put the belt through the other 2 loops and lock it. Be sure the belt is snug with just enough room to get your fingers under it. Step 2, hold the belt correctly. Grip the belt tightly, bend your knees, and keep your back straight. You often have more leverage by holding the belt at the back with your palm facing up. Step 3, use proper body mechanics. Lift or move the client with your arm and leg muscles. Do not use your back. Do not twist your body when moving or lifting. Step 4, remove the belt. When you are done walking with your client or helping them transfer, remove the gait belt. Next up, we'll take a look at wheelchairs. We'll watch this video to learn how to help an older adult use a wheelchair.
People often talk about a person being confined to a wheelchair, but that makes it sound like the wheelchair somehow limits a person. Wheelchairs are meant to save a client's energy and increase their mobility. They are enabling devices that allow older adults and other users to experience more function, not less. The most common wheelchair type is a folding chair with removable leg rests, 2 large back wheels, and 2 small front wheels. The height from the seat to the floor is about the same as a standard kitchen chair, and the seat width averages 18 inches. The chairs weigh about 35 to 40 pounds. There are simple brakes in front of each large wheel. Push the brake lever, which presses into the wheel to keep it from rolling. To fold and move the wheelchair, take the footrests off first. Unlatch the lever at the top of the leg rest and swing the rest outward to remove it. To fold the chair, hold the center front and back of the seat and lift. This pulls the sides of the wheelchair together. To unfold, push down on both sides of the seat. To put the footrests back on the chair, line up the hinges and the pins above the front wheels. Then, swing the leg rests inward. They'll lock right back in place using the same latch that you used to unlock them. The brakes must always be locked before a person stands up or sits down in a wheelchair. If the brakes aren't locked, the wheelchair will roll and the client will fall.
How does that feel?
It's fine, but a cushion might help. It's a little stiff.
Well, we'll have to check. But otherwise, you're comfortable?
Yeah, it's good.
Use of an extra cushion or any other equipment should be okay with a supervisor or decision-making family member.
This is just right. You don't want too much space around your hips. That's how we know it's a good fit. And it's not too wide to fit through doorways. Now, it's time to take care of the footrests.
Adjusting the footrests to the right length keeps weight off the back of the thighs, reducing pressure points and improving circulation. You may need a small wrench to adjust the rests, or it may have push pins like a cane. Adjust the rests so the client's thighs sit lightly on the seat.
Why don't you give it a try? Can you get around on your own?
Well, it's been a while since I drove.
Well done. The more you can use your own body, the better. It'll help keep you strong.
I'll race you to the kitchen.
There are also lighter transport wheelchairs that only weigh 19 to 22 pounds. They have 4 small wheels and they aren't as sturdy as regular wheelchairs. They're not meant for the seated person to move themselves. They're really only meant for short trips with the help of an assistant. Always have the footrest attached anytime you're pushing someone in the chair. Otherwise, the client's feet can catch on the ground and twist their knees or ankles. And when you're pushing someone in a wheelchair, move slower than you think you should. If you move too fast, especially over uneven surfaces, an older adult can get scared. They'll be more confident in you and your skills when you push the wheelchair slowly.
We will take a moment now to review the parts of a wheelchair. That's the push handle or the grip. That's the backrest. Here we have the armrest, the seat, the push ring or hand rim, the brake, the calf pad. We have a foot plate as well as the caster wheel. Up next, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about transfers. This lesson explores how to assist an older adult to transfer using a gait belt, mobility device, and a slide board. First up, we're going to watch a video to learn how to assist an older adult to move up in bed.
To move your client up in bed, first explain the process to your client. Then, while they're moving, give simple instructions one step at a time. If the bed is adjustable, make sure it's flat. If possible, raise the height of the whole bed so you don't have to bend over while moving the older adult. This will decrease the stress to your back. Remove all but one pillow from under the client's head. Ask the client to bend their knees and place their feet flat on the bed. Place one arm under the client's upper back behind their shoulders and the other under their rib cage. On the count of 3, ask the client to push down with their feet and lift up on their buttocks while you help them move forward toward the head of the bed.
Now, let's spend a moment watching a video to learn how to assist an older adult to sit at the side of the bed.
Before assisting your client to sit at the side of the bed, explain what you're going to do and how the client can help you. Fold the covers away from the client. Then ask the client to roll on their side to face you. If available, use bed rails to increase the client's ability to help themselves roll. Tell the client to reach across their chest and place their hand on the edge of the bed, or hold on to the bed rail. Ask them to push down with their hand and to use the other elbow to raise their trunk. Have them swing their legs over the side of the bed at the same time. You may need to help guide their legs. Guide their shoulders with your hand, but don't let them pull up on your arms because that could strain your back. If the client needs help turning, cross their arm over their chest and cross the leg furthest from the side of the bed over the other leg. Place one hand on the client's uppermost shoulder and the other on the client's uppermost hip. Bend your knees and gently roll the client onto their side. This is often called a log roll. Standing with your legs bent and your back straight, hold beneath the client's thighs and swing their legs over the side of the bed. Then bring the client's shoulders and torso up to a sitting position. If necessary, hold onto the client's shoulders to prevent them from falling backwards. Stand in front of the client to keep them from rocking forward and off the bed. Encourage the client to hold on to the side of the bed with both hands. After you see that the client is steady, put non-skid footwear on their feet, then help position their feet flat on the floor.
Next up, let's watch a video to learn how to assist an older adult to transfer using a gait belt.
If a client has weakness on one side of their body, you may want to use a gait or transfer belt when assisting them to transfer to and from a wheelchair. When you're assisting a client to move from a bed to a wheelchair, place the wheelchair near the bed before helping the client to the edge of the bed. Put the wheelchair on the client's stronger side, placing it as close to the bed as possible. The shorter the distance the client needs to travel, the lower the risk of them falling. Remove the wheelchair's footrests so that you or the client does not trip over them. Lock the wheelchair so that it does not move. Before beginning the transfer, explain to the client what you're going to do and how they can help. Assist the client to a seated position at the side of the bed. Give them a few minutes to adjust to the change of position. Make sure the client is wearing non-skid footwear. Then position the client's feet flat on the floor. Place the gait belt around the client's waist over their clothing. Make sure it fits snugly but not too tight. Explain the transfer process to the client before they get up. Then, while they are transferring, give simple instructions one step at a time. Always encourage the client to do as much as they can on their own. In this case, have them use their arms and hands to help themselves stand up. Tell the client that you're going to help them stand on the count of 3. Have them push against the bed with their hands to help themselves stand. Stand in front of the client and hold the gait belt at the back if you can. This position gives you the most leverage. If you can't reach the back of the gait belt, hold it at the sides. For the best grip, hold the gait belt with your palm facing upwards. As the client stands upright, encourage them to take small steps to pivot toward the wheelchair. As the client turns to sit, tell them to reach behind and try to grab the wheelchair's armrests. It is important to maintain your own body mechanics when assisting the client to stand, turn, and sit down. Keep your body as close as possible to the client and remember to lift with your legs as much as you can instead of using your arms and back. Once the client's legs are touching the seat of the chair, help them gently lower themselves into the seat as they hold on to the armrests. Make sure the client's hips touch the back of the wheelchair seat. If necessary, ask the client to stand up and sit down again to get their hips further back in the seat. Gently remove the gait belt from the client's waist, and lastly, reattach the footrests and place the client's feet in them.
Next, we're going to watch a video to learn about how to assist an older adult to transfer using a mobility device, such as a cane or a walker.
When a client has a mobility device like a walker or a cane, you want to use the device during the transfer because it helps the client to be stable and supported. Place the mobility device in front of the bed. Leave a bit of room between the device and the wheelchair, usually a few inches, so the client can easily maneuver the device while they turn. Double check that the wheelchair's footrests are removed and out of the way to reduce tripping hazards. Also check the wheelchair is locked and can't move. Assist the client to a seated position at the side of the bed. Make sure the client is wearing non-skid footwear, then position the client's feet flat on the floor. Place the gait belt around the client's waist over the clothing. Make sure it fits snugly but isn't too tight. Explain the process to the client before they get up. Then, while the client is transferring, give simple instructions one step at a time. Remind the client that you want them to do as much as possible on their own. In this case, have them use their arms and hands to help themselves stand up. Tell the client you want them to stand on the count of 3. The client may need extra help, so hold on to the gait belt at the back and, if necessary, also at the front.
When the client is standing, have them take hold of the mobility device. Then tell them to turn carefully, keeping the device close.
Next, tell the client to back up so that their legs touch the wheelchair. Encourage the client to keep the device close while they are backing up. This gives them more balance and stability. Instruct the client to hold the device with one hand and reach back for the wheelchair with the other hand. Tell them to slowly let go of the device and lower into the chair. Make sure the client's hips touch the back of the wheelchair seat. If necessary, ask the client to stand up and sit down again to help their hips further back in the seat. Gently remove the gait belt from the client's waist and reattach the footrests to the wheelchair.
Next up, let's watch a video to learn about how to assist an older adult to transfer using a slide board.
If a client can't bear any weight on their legs, you can assist them to transfer from one seated position to another using a slide board. Before doing the transfer, explain what you're going to do and how the client can help. Then, while they are transferring, give simple instructions, one step at a time. Place the wheelchair as close to the bed as possible and on the client's stronger side. Make sure the footrests are removed and the wheelchair is locked so it can't move. Then remove or swing the armrest that is closest to the bed out of the way. Make sure the client is in a sitting position at the side of the bed and wearing non-skid footwear with their feet firmly on the ground. Place the gait belt around the client's waist over their clothing. Make sure it fits snugly but not too tight. Ask or assist your client to lean away from the wheelchair, then slide the board halfway underneath the client's buttocks and upper thigh. Be careful not to pinch the client's skin beneath the bed and the board. Place the other end of the board so it rests securely on the wheelchair seat. Ask the client to use their arms and upper body strength to scoot across the board. Make sure the client pushes down on the slide board and does not grasp the edges. Stand in front to provide stability and support, but encourage the client to do as much as they possibly can for themselves. If the client needs assistance, stand in front and with your back straight, brace one or both of your knees against the client's knees. Have the client lean forward as you continue to hold the gait belt. Using your legs and not your back, gently help the client slide across the board with a series of small scoots. Be careful to avoid friction with your client's skin and the board. Do not drag the client across the board. Assist the client to sit comfortably in the wheelchair. Then ask the client to lean away as you gently wiggle the board out from beneath them. Latch the armrests back into position.
Here are some guidelines for assisting with transfers. Always use proper body mechanics to avoid injury. Use a gait belt to provide additional leverage while supporting the older adult. The wheelchair should be placed on the older adult's stronger side. The wheelchair's footrests should be removed or folded out of the way. If the bed is adjustable, the height should be level with or slightly higher than the chair. Anytime you move an older adult, remember to explain clearly what you are going to do so the older adult knows what to expect. Speak slowly and clearly. Allow the older adult to do as much as possible for themselves. Standby assist. During standby assist, the physical therapist or caregiver does not touch the client or provide any hands-on assistance, but he or she stands by close for safety in case the client loses their balance or needs help maintaining safety during the task being performed. Now that we have covered mobility equipment and transfers, let's take a look at lifts. This lesson explores how to use Hoyer lifts and other types of lifts to help a client to stand. The lesson also discusses how to prevent caregiver injury while using these devices. Let's watch a video on how to use a Hoyer lift.
it can be dangerous to try to pick up a person who can't help themselves stand. It's also dangerous for you. Heavy lifting can injure your joints and muscles. A Hoyer lift does all the hard work for you and makes lifting and moving a disabled adult to a wheelchair or toilet much safer and easier for everyone. Older adults like using Hoyer lifts because they're comfortable and secure. Lifts come in both manual and electrical versions, but the main steps of use are the same. Before using the lift, have the medical equipment company or a physical therapist show you how to use it. The Hoyer lift works best with 2 people handling it. This makes it easier to roll a disabled or heavy adult. While one person uses the lift, the other person will be guiding the adult's legs.
Are you ready to get started?
That's a complicated piece of equipment.
Well, it's pretty easy to use in the right hands. I'll explain how it works.
While using the lift, explain each step of what you're doing to the older adult. This helps them understand what's happening and feel safer.
First, Karen is going to get you in the sling. She's going to roll it up on one side of your body, and then you're going to roll to your side. Karen will set up the sling and roll you back on your other side and straighten out the sling. Now roll on your back. That was pretty easy, wasn't it?
That's good.
Karen is going to bring the lift closer to you, and she's going to open up the legs to stabilize the lift. Then she's going to lock the brakes. This lift is not going to go anywhere until we tell it to. Next, Karen is going to adjust the straps according to the instructions from our physical therapist. Step 3, up we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If your lift is manual, close the control valve and pump the lever arm several times to lift the client above the bed. If your lift is electric, use the remote control. In all cases, make sure the older adult is facing you when they're in the lift.
Step 4, we're unlocking the brakes so we can get you moving. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Use the steering bars or the remote control to move the lift and slowly guide the client to their new location. Once they're positioned over their destination, lock the brakes. Now, it's safe to slowly lower the client with the valve or the remote.
Now that wasn't so bad, was it?
No, it was pretty good.
Disconnect the straps from the lifting boom.
Step 5, let's get you out of that sling.
Always remove the U-sling from the client. Don't let them remain sitting or lying on it. The sling's fabric and seams are very rough and can injure an older adult's delicate skin. But don't just pull the sling out from under them. That can tear their skin. If the client's lying down, help them roll to each side and remove it gently. If they're seated, help them lean forward to remove the sling. Remember, always lock the brakes unless you're moving the lift. Never leave an older adult in a lift unattended, and never leave the sling on the client.
Let's take a look at other types of lifts.
Your older adult client may be able to stand up on their own with some help, but they're too unsteady or weak to move around safely alone. That's when more equipment is needed to get them up and around. A pull to stand lift is one way to safely help your client stand and move about. A pull to stand lift is a sturdy standing frame with a bar that the client can use to pull themselves up. The seat and leg rest help keep the client comfortable and secure. With a pull to stand lift, your older client will feel safer and more comfortable standing and moving from one room to the next. They'll be able to stand longer, toileting will be quicker, and they'll be able to do more self-care like dressing and grooming.
First, we'll move the lift right in front of you, and I want you to put your feet on the base. Great, now we're going to lock the brakes on the lift. This thing is not going anywhere until we say so.
All right.
Next, place your hands on the pull-up bar And you're going to pull yourself to standing. Now, we're here to help you, but we want you to do most of the work. That's how you'll keep up your strength. You ready?
Ready?
All right. Great. Now for safety, let's put the seat pads in place. How do you feel?
Feels good?
Fantastic. Now you can either stand up straight or you can lean back against the seat pads for extra stability. Ooh. Hey, looks like you've done this before.
No, this is the first time.
Well, you're a very good student.
I had 2 good teachers.
Remember, always keep the brakes locked unless you're moving the elder client. The split seat should always be closed behind the client. Only open the seat when you're in front of the sitting surface like a chair, bed, or toilet. Never leave an older adult alone upright in the lift. If you need to step away, sit the client back down first. It's okay to leave the client attached to the lift for a few minutes while they're seated. A physical therapist can evaluate which lift will be best for the client's needs. So talk with the client or their decision maker about getting a PT involved.
Let's talk a little bit more about using lifts safely. Lifts are designed to lift and transfer clients from one place to another, like from bed to bath or chair to bed. They offer many benefits to clients with limited mobility, including reduced risk of injury to both clients and caregivers. However, improper use of lifts can pose significant risks. Falls from lifts can result in severe injuries like head trauma or fractures, or even death. Lift design varies and depends on the manufacturer. Basic components of a lift include the mast, which is the vertical bar that fits into the base, the boom, which is the bar that extends over the client, the spreader bar, which is the bar that hangs from the boom, the sling attached to the spreader bar and used to hold the client, and clips or latches, which are the devices to secure the sling. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has compiled a list of best practices that can help reduce risks when using lifts. Users should receive training and understand how to operate the lift, read all instructions to safely operate the device, match the sling to the specific lift and the client's weight. A sling must be approved for use by the lift manufacturer. No sling is suitable for use with all lifts. Inspect the sling fabric and straps to make sure it's not damaged or has signs of wear. Keep all of the clips, latches, and hanger bars securely fastened. Keep the base of the lift in the maximum open position and situate the lift to provide stability. Position the client's arms inside the sling straps. Make sure the client is not restless or agitated, and lock the wheels on the device that will receive the patient, such as the wheelchair, the bed, or the chair. Make sure that the weight limitations for the lift and the sling are not exceeded. Follow the instructions for washing and maintaining the sling, and create and follow a maintenance safety inspection checklist to detect worn or damaged parts. Now that we have covered mobility equipment, transfers, and lifts, let's take a moment to look at information regarding bed rails and safety equipment. Let's watch a brief video to learn about other safety equipment.
If you feel your client will benefit from new or different bed rails, speak to your supervisor and decision-making family member to ensure that any bed rails chosen are the most appropriate for your client. It's a common myth that full-length bed rails will keep an older adult from climbing out of bed. The reality is, they may still try to climb over the rails, and they can get tangled in the bars or fall greater distance to the floor, causing serious injury. A small or half-length bed rail may be better than a full-length bed rail, since it can give the client something to pull on to sit up, stand, and balance without the safety risks that come with a full bed rail. There are lots of styles and options available. It's important to know that your client is safe and secure while you're busy with chores or sleeping. A monitor is like an extra pair of eyes when you need to be in two places at once. A baby monitor works like a walkie-talkie. It lets you hear what's going on in another room. They're inexpensive and easy to use, but they don't alert you to changes or danger like an alarm, and you may not hear problems if you're asleep. That's why bed and chair alarms are common in institutions. They can alert caregivers when a patient stands without help. You can use these alarms in your home as well.
Now let's take a moment to talk about bed rail safety. An adult portable bed rail is any bed rail product or device that can be attached or removed from a bed and is installed on or used along the side of the bed. A portable bed rail is not designed as part of the bed by the manufacturer. Some bed rails run along the full length of the bed, others run half, quarter, or even shorter lengths of the bed. Portable bed rails are intended to, number 1, reduce the risk of a client falling from the bed, number 2, assist the client with repositioning in the bed, or number 3, assist the client with transitioning into or out of the bed. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and the FDA, use of bed rails may result in injury or death due to falls or entrapment, especially with older adults or individuals with altered mental status, physical limitations, and certain medical conditions. Portable bed rails may be purchased without a prescription and without the recommendation of a healthcare provider. Consult your supervisor if you have any questions about the use of bed rails for your client. Now that we have discussed the overview of transfers and mobility equipment, including mobility equipment, transfers, lifts, bed rails, and safety equipment, we'll give you a 15-question final test so that you can get your certificate that you have been trained on the overview of transfers and mobility equipment. Thank you for listening to this module.